What's up, guys? Nice to see you. I'm back, and this time hopefully back for good. I've took a massive break from YouTube. I've not done a YouTube video for about a year now, but I've decided I'm going to put some proper effort in and try and do more regular videos on here. It's been a strange year. Obviously we're in the middle of a global pandemic, and I don't know about you, but I sort of, at the first lockdown, work got a bit quiet because people weren't sure what was going on. They were taking it a bit more seriously. The weather was good. Before lockdown, I would work, I'd leave home at 8, sometimes earlier, get home at 8, 9 p.m, have something to eat, pass out, wake up, and then I'm back at work the next day. But I used to do that 5 days a week, and then I'd even work Saturdays and some Sunday mornings as well. But when lockdown happened, I was home a lot more. I started to get jobs done around the house. I mean, I had a new kitchen about 7 years ago, and I only finished the kitchen off, the tile splashback and a little bit of decorating because of lockdown. If this whole thing hadn't happened, I still wouldn't have done it. So I've been doing a lot more stuff around the house. Being at home more has made me appreciate being at home, so I'm not working as many hours. But the other thing, and I don't know if you experienced this, but I lost motivation to go to work. Like before, I'd get up, go to work all day, not even think anything of it. Now it's like I'm dying to get home by like 2, 3 o'clock, and I don't want to leave the house in the morning. There's crazy things going on with the world. But just recently, I mean, we're in now, February. I'm starting to feel a bit more positive, a bit more motivated. So I've decided that I'm going to have a proper go at the YouTube, and this is the first one. So hope you enjoy it. As a little bit of an incentive to stick with it, there's going to be a giveaway at some point in the video, so keep your eye out for that. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoy it. Right, guys, today we're doing a system conversion. We're converting this system to a combination boiler. So the cylinder and the tanks in the roof are all coming out, and we need to link through the pipework to basically bypass all that was there to suit our new system. So the first job we need to do is identify what pipe does what, and the easiest way to do that is by looking at the airing cupboard and seeing what we've got in here. Now this system's quite unusual because we've not got any zone valves. We've actually got a gate valve there which they turn on and off for the central heating, and you can just see one there on the flow into the cylinder for the hot water. I guess that one's not to be turned off, that's just a balancing valve. So first thing is to look at the pump. Which way is the pump pumping? It's pumping up, so it goes up, tees off there into the coil for the hot water, and then off the top there it comes along and down for our central heating. The pump's pumping up, so we know that that's the flow pipe. So if we follow that back to here, and we're going to write flow on that, well, F. So that's our central heating flow. If we look at the bottom connection off the cylinder, that's the return. It also comes down in this 15mm pipe here and tees in here. So what we've got here is our return from the hot water cylinder, which means this one is our return from the radiators, and this is our return pipe to the boiler downstairs. We've also got on here a 15mm pipe that goes up all the way into the roof space, so that tells me that is our cold feed into the system. So that is how the central heating system is filled. This 15mm pipe here, which tees off because there's a bathroom downstairs, is our cold water. Because if we see, that goes all the way up there into the roof, but it's actually got an isolation valve stop tap on it. Normally you will find an isolation valve on the cold as it goes up into the roof, so we can turn off, if we need to, the cold supply up there. So we'll label that one on the back here. That's our cold, we'll see on that. And then looking at the top of the cylinder, that's our hot draw off, which comes down in this 22mm pipe here. So that becomes our hot. And then obviously the hot tees up there, and that's our vent pipe to keep this at atmospheric pressure. The only other pipes we've got to look at are these ones. Having a quick look under the floor there, we can see that these come from the radiators. So this will just be the flow and return from the RAS, but we don't need to touch these, which I'll explain in a minute. Doesn't matter which one's which. And this one I've cut here, this is the old gas supply. We worked that out basically by working out what everything else was, process of elimination. That's the gas, that's coming out, so we've cut that. So how do we convert this system to a combi? We're going to use the flow and return downstairs because basically where we've got the boiler downstairs at the minute with the flow and return coming off it, we're going to cut that there and there. That boiler's going to come out and our new combi is going to go in, and the pipes from the new combi are going to get back onto these two pipes. So we need to reuse these. So the flow, where it comes up there, has got to bypass everything in this cupboard. We don't need that anymore, so we're going to cut that, say, here. And we need to get on to the flow to the radiators there. So that pipe there, the flow, needs to connect on that pipe there, flow to the radiators, because we don't need the flow to the hot water anymore, or any of this. The return we still need, but we don't need the return coming from the cylinder, so that is going to be cut off there and capped. Or ideally you would cut that there and connect it through with one piece of pipe, so you don't have any dead legs. But it's not the worst thing in the world to just cap a pipe off there, but we probably, for this job, will cut it there and link through. So then we've got the return from the rads going to the return from the boiler, and we've got the flow from the boiler going to the flow of the rads. Hot and cold, we don't need up here, apart from this pipe here which goes down to the bathroom, we still need. So we're going to change this T to an elbow because we don't need this pipe anymore. We don't need any water up in the loft anymore. The hot that goes to the cylinder and to the vent we don't need. So we need to find out how far back we can get rid of this hot pipe, depending on where it joins down into the bathroom, which I've not found out yet. And that's pretty much it. So what I'll do is we'll do the work and then I'll come back on the film and I'll show you what we've done. Right, just a little update for you. So, return to the boiler, return from the radiators, that's going to join onto that. The hot and the cold, we don't need here anymore because that's coming out. And also this supply pipe here, cold, that I thought was down to the bathroom, actually just goes to a cap stop end. So it's redundant, so that's coming up, which means we don't need the cold here at all. So the cold's going to be cut back where it comes down into the bathroom, well, up from the bathroom, somewhere over there. So that's gone, hot's gone. The flow, which we said we're going to cut there and go onto that. I just thought I'd show you that now I've got the board up. So that's the flow to the radiators, and you see it comes along here and tees into the rad. Obviously it would have been nice to cut it there and join on here, but we need to keep this rad in. So we'll just cut that there, cut that there, and join them together. And then that's it, pretty much done. Obviously this is all going to come out, but that's the linking through. So I will, when it's done, I'll do another video. So we've got flow from the boiler, now connects into the flow to the radiators, and return to the boiler connects in with the return from the radiators, and everything else that went to that cupboard is now just there. So we've basically bypassed all of that by linking those two pipes, return from the heating to the return, flow to the heating to the flow. Rest is gone. Now we can start putting this jigsaw of floorboards back down and probably take that to the scrap man. So that video you just watched, I filmed that for my Instagram TV, which is why it's portrait, but then I didn't do any more of the job because I wasn't doing YouTube at that point. But this is the finished job, so you can see the pipes come along in that boxing, and they were in there before. I've just adapted onto them. Then they come down at the side of the boiler. The reason they come down at the side of the boiler is because they need to go underneath the kitchen counter, because there's hot and cold there, and also a radiator in the kitchen. And the gas also comes down, it comes from the other side of the house, and then it goes all the way to the cooker, which is on the wall behind me as I'm looking at the boiler now. So that's just an example of the pipe work. There's an AD atom filter on there, don't like them, but I had one to use up, so that's on there. And a mini shock arrestor. If you've not seen any of my videos on mini shock arresters, I can cover that on one of my next videos. What's up guys, just a really quick video. So I need to get a fitting onto this pipe, but you can see here I've damaged it, so it's not completely round at the end, which means it won't go in a fitting. Can't get that fitting on. Just trying to push that in now. See if you can see the gap there. You can see the bad edge of the pipe there. It won't go in the fitting. So a little tip: get your adjustable, put it on the pipe, and set it to the correct size of the pipe, and then bring it to the damaged end and just start turning it around the pipe. So you're not squeezing it, you're not adjusting it, you're just turning it around at the same diameter, outside diameter as the pipe, further down. And just keep working it around. So get in there and show you nice and close. So you just get it, keep turning it until you're happy that you've rounded it. And then you see that it's gone straight in the fitting. Just a little tip for you. What's up guys, I got called out to this Viessmann boiler with an F4 fault, which is failure to light. Now one of the first things I would check is if the electrodes are sparking, but when I took the screw out you can see water's coming out. This could be a split heat exchanger, but it's more likely to be a blocked condensed trap. When a condensed trap blocks, the condense will back up all the way into the heat exchanger. When it reaches the level of the electrodes, the boiler will cut out. Using a wet vac, tried to remove the blockage but it wouldn't budge, so I had to remove the hose directly off the bottom of the heat exchanger, and you can see there's quite a lot of water in there. Now that's drained, I can safely remove the condensed trap and give it a clean out. The customer told me that no one's ever took this condensed trap out before, which is why it's become so badly blocked and backed up. Anytime I work on a wet part, I'll always blast it with a hairdryer to make sure the boiler's bone dry. Because the heat exchanger had filled with water, I wanted to check inside that nothing was split or it wasn't damaged. You can see here it's quite dirty, so it needs a good clean. After giving it a good clean out, putting the condensed trap back in, we're back in business. Right, since I was last on I had a bit of a redesign and I came up with this new logo. I've gone for like a crazy 80s retro logo. I had these stickers made, which I give out to people when I do competitions and stuff on Instagram. And the best thing I've got is these personalised radiator keys. So the guy who makes these, he's a mate of mine called Tom. He used to work for Valent and now he runs a company called Stickers and That. And he will personalise literally anything. I've also got these mag bowls, but you can, I mean, you don't have to have a logo like mine. This is my old rad key. See there, I've got my company details on, email, my phone number, and you can have your company name and logo, qualifications, phone numbers, whatever, on a work mat, on a t-shirt, on a mug, on document folders. They look pretty cool if you want to impress your customers. Hand over your boiler literature in a nice personalised document folder. So if you're interested in stuff like this, stickers, rad keys or anything, it's he's on Twitter and Instagram at Stickers and That, or just Google him and yeah, get some personalised gear. This job came to this night before last. It was leaking. This was bare wood and there was a big puddle on there. Checked it out. It was the oil air bottle, so just arrived with one to fit now. The new oil's coming. They've just glossed. This is all wet paint, the whole room. Thanks for that. You probably know this already if you've followed me, but I do love a Baxi. We've fitted them since I was 17, so know my way around them. One of the only boilers, and a lot of people disagree with me on this, but they're one of the only boilers that I will isolate them on these valves to drain it down. And then on the Baxi, so the white cap there, you just turn that to drain it, which I've already got water on the fresh gloss. I'm not going to be able to film this with one hand, but basically I'm going to catch the water, open that, catch the water in that, put it into my bucket just to drain the pressure off that so I can whip that air bottle out that's been leaking. So that's open now. Drip it into there, and as that drips you'll see the pressure start to go down. So these air bottles, just an O-ring and a little bit of a thread, so all you need to do is I get a big pair of grips and just turn it, hold the pump I've already loosened this. Just hold the pump before you start turning it out, and it'll just undo like that. So that's the old one out. New one in with the little screw cap on the top undone, so that's open. And then I've shut the drain points. Then I'll just open these back up. I said I didn't have to worry about them not opening. Pressure's come back up, and then we'll just top that up to just over 1 bar. So that's new one in, pressurised, and I managed to do the whole job, and that's the only bit of water I got on the fresh paint. So these air bottles, you've got this screw point on the top. When they're open and you're filling the system, the air will come out of there, so that will vent all the air out of the system. When you're draining the system and that's open, it will let air in to help let the water out. If you drained the system with that shut, then the water wouldn't all drain out the boiler. And it's for that reason that people, gas engineers, will argue whether you leave these, once you've filled the system and it's running, whether you leave these shut or whether you leave them open. Let me know in the comments what you do. Do you leave that shut or do you leave it open when the boiler's running? Right, so I had an idea about, because there's like a massive community on social media, Instagram especially, I've got quite a lot of mates who are plumbers, and they do some really good content, tips and tricks, and it's always good. Like for me, I learnt with Kev and my dad, a little bit off my granddad, and that's all well and good. I became a good plumber because I learnt off those two. But then when I got qualified, I went out and I worked with other plumbers and other trades as well, and I picked up tips, tricks, how they organised their van, how they worked, and I feel like I've become an amalgamation of all those people that I've learnt off over the years. It's like Dave the electrician, I've learnt a lot from him. I still ring him now if I need help with electrics, but I feel like I've gained a lot of knowledge from a lot of different people, and that's what's good about Instagram. You can get a lot of different knowledge off a lot of different people, and we all do different jobs. Like I'm, domestic, combi boilers, sometimes a full central heating, but not that often. But there's guys doing that, or solar, or unvented, or underfloor, or even bigger stuff like commercial. So what I thought was I'd try and get some of them to give this channel, so a little 2-minute tip or a tool that they think's good, and just share that knowledge with you. So that's going to be a new feature, and we're going to start off with my mate Todd Glister. If you don't follow him on Instagram, proper positive, happy guy, very good at his job. So he's going to give us his first tip, and he's going to be a regular on the channel. But also, if you've got something that you want to contribute, you want to be on the YouTube channel, just send me a message on Instagram and I'll get you on it. Yeah, and hopefully it's going to be something that people get involved with and that you enjoy and you learn something from. So here's the first one, Todd's top tip.
Hi guys, it's me, Todd Glister from Glister Services. Now, those of you that follow me on Instagram, you probably realise I do a little feature called Todd's Top Tip. And Peter's kindly asked me to share one of these tips with you. So I'm going to go ahead with the favourite, the one that's always been, I'll get a lot of responses from people saying, oh, I've been in the industry 20, 30 years, and it's really helpful. It's just a little tiny tip, but it's one that goes a long way. So here it is. Here's something like Blue Peter, I've conducted earlier. So we've all been there where you've cut the pipe and you've got that little dead leg of water in there, and sometimes when you get the wet vac on there, it doesn't quite clear it out. And if you want to solder onto something like that, what you can do, grab a spray bottle head like this, pop it in. Oh! It's as simple as that. It clears it out, and once you've got enough out of there, you'll then be empty enough and you can solder onto that and get on with your day, live your life, enjoy it. Oh, wonderful. Oh, so I really hope you've enjoyed this first top tips. Todd's toppy tips. And I'm sure to be back with some more to help you guys.
What's up guys, it's PB. Just a quick video to show you safe isolation when working on a boiler, the way I do it. I use a 2-pole tester, and before we start, we use a proving unit to prove that the tester's working okay. Once we've proved that our test equipment's working okay, we'll go ahead and turn off the power. In this case it's a fuse spare, so I'm removing the fuse. If you want to go belt and braces, you can lock off that fuse holder so no one can put a fuse back in. Now we can test at the appliance for voltage to make sure it's dead. The 3 tests I'm going to do are between live and neutral, looking for no voltage, earth and neutral, again looking for no voltage, and earth and live, looking for no voltage. If no voltage is detected and you're satisfied with that, you then need to again prove that your test equipment's still working. Once you've proved that, you can be happy that the appliance is dead and safe to work on. Right, as promised, I've got a giveaway for you. So as a thank you for sticking by me and watching this YouTube video, I've got this Velocity Rogue 2.0 kit bag to give away. It's like a small servicing bag. I'll just show you on the inside. So we've got internal pockets, neoprene pockets. There's a big zip pocket there at the top. You can put stuff in down to about there. There's a zip pocket, clear one on the front, ID card. You get quite a lot of gear in that. It's a nice little technician's bag, servicing bag. Got a pouch on the side for your phone, pens, and then this is on the front. This would fit something like a pair of safety glasses, or you could even get your pipe slicers in there. Tape measure holder and tape loop on the side. Decent gear, these Velocity bags. So what I thought I wanted to do with my giveaways on the YouTube channel is try and keep them mainly for apprentices to help out the younger lads coming through. So if you're an apprentice, or if you've got an apprentice, you think they deserve this bag, just leave me a comment. I'll choose someone at random, and I'll try and do something like this in every video I do, some kind of apprentice giveaway going forward. So if you don't win this one, don't worry, there'll be plenty of chances to win something else in future. But yeah, if you want that, or if you know someone who would love it, you want to surprise them, leave me a comment, maybe why they deserve it, and I'll choose someone. So the only reason I'm filming this job is because it's pissed me off. It's Saturday and I've been sent out here because this toilet's overflowing, and this isn't their only toilet, and it's got an isolation valve on. And okay, some people might not know what that does and that you can turn it off and isolate it, but there's also one there. Could have done that. I could have come back on Monday and done this, and it would have been a lot cheaper for them. But I'm here now, so I'm gonna, this is the fault, so I'm gonna whip this out and replace it. Okay, so that old fluid Mazda's coming out, replaced with the mighty Viva. I know you guys love it when I say brass shank, so that's going in. I've just been thinking about this. If I worked in a letting agency and someone rang up and said, my toilet's leaking, or my toilet's overflowing, or whatever, my first question would be, is it your only toilet? And if they said no, I'd say, is there any way you can isolate the water to it so it can wait till Monday? I mean, that don't seem too unreasonable to me, but anyway, I just need to stop being such a miserable bastard. Right, so that's going in, and then I'll just reconnect on this flex so I'm not messing about. I mean, it wants clipping really, and God knows what's going on with the wall and that outside tap. If you've not seen these before, this is like a DIY outside tap kit. So you clamp this over the pipe, and as you tighten it up, it punctures a hole in the copper pipe, and then that becomes live, and then you can obviously isolate it or leave it on. And then you've got just what looks like a washing machine flex. That'll run outside. I'll show you. To the outside tap. See a lot of them DIY kits fitted. Not only is this not fixed to the wall, there's the gap behind there for that outside tap. It's not even fixed to the floor. I need to go home,